Good morning. How is everyone today? Good morning, Chris. How are you? Gonna give a couple minutes, see if any more of the baby bees roll in. You guys are new here. My name is Lauren B. B-E-E. This is the Untitled Tarot. We do a mix of a lot of things in this honeycomb. We talk a lot about God. We talk a lot about Jesus. We do a lot of tarot and oracle, a lot of open channeling around here. This is Collective Coffee. Collective Coffee, we go over the daily energies for all the signs. We hang out, we talk, we enjoy our morning or afternoon or evening, wherever you are. Baby bees are spread out all over God's green earth. It is cold and snowing for Chris this morning. We have yet to see snow here in New Jersey, but it is extremely cloudy. We've been dealing with rain for a few days. We have rain for a few more days, which I personally think is very symbolic of all the cleansing and rejuvenation that's going on right now. So we're going to start with a little prayer, get ourselves prayed up. First thing, Father God, thank you for being here with me and the baby bees this morning. I ask that you bless these messages and you cover these cards for the collective today. I pray that you bring forth messages and guidance in our highest of love, light, alignment, and assignment. In Jesus' mighty name, amen. Amen, baby bees. Good morning, everyone. I might look a little wet and sticky this morning. I have a face mask on, and I don't want to take it off, honestly. I had a weird allergic reaction to something that I had put on my face the other day, and it has been rough. It has been a rough go of it. So I have this face mask on that seems to be the only thing that is soothing my poor little face, and I don't want to take it off, so I'm not going to. But it's really about the messages, not so much about, look at the card, look at the split. Fear and beauty. It's not so much about what I look like. It's about the loving intention of my voice and the messages. See, we're taking action regardless. We're going to use a different combination of decks today. We are going to use the Mystical Shaman Oracle and the Queen of the Moon Oracle. We're going to use those mixed together for the spreads today. We're just going to go easy peasy along our pace today. No rushing today. I have not been in a rushing mood the past few days. I've been taking it kind of easy. Let's see, what should we start with? What sign should we start with? Capricorn, maybe we'll start with Capricorn today. For those of you that do not know, after I get done doing the weeklies, I see who had the best attendance for their video that week, and then I do a little bonus reading for them. It's been Virgo for weeks and weeks and weeks, but Capricorn took the cake this week. Capricorn's really rolled through. So we are not only going to do Capricorn's bonus read after this, but we're going to start with Capricorn today. So Capricorn, let's see what our good Lord has to say to you today. What are we focusing on, Capricorn? What are we going through? I'll get these two. That's funny. Cool. Very cool, Capricorn. Okay, so first up, we have the Crow. Good morning, Donna. Happy Tuesday. How are you? So we have the Crow out first, Capricorn, and then we have the Rainmaker. It's very funny. I was talking about the rain. And then the Thunder. Look at that. So Capricorn, I think what we're really talking about for you today is, one, the Crow speaks very much of intuition. And for me, the Crow really speaks about using your intuition during kind of dark and cloudy times when it seems like everything's blocked out a little bit for you, those times when your intuition is almost like part of your survival skill, right? At times when it's also like hard to stay a little bit like above the water in terms of like your high vibration and like all of that stuff, right? And then you have the rainmaker. Again, like I said before, the rain, it's cleansing, it's rejuvenating. It's about kind of a little bit of that purging spirit. And as we do that, we become lighter. We become lighter. It's almost this sense of Capricorn that, you know, the only way out is through right now, that sometimes we can kind of like pick ourselves up and brush ourselves off and do that sort of thing to kind of shake like the weird energy off us. But sometimes the easiest way to do it, or the more effective way to do it, is to kind of like ride it out, right? Is to be very present with yourself. Be very present with your emotions. If you're feeling sad, if you're feeling a little aggressive, if you're feeling a little frustrated, a little angry, to not kind of fight that and push yourself to a higher vibration, but instead really walk it out piece by piece, allowing yourself to purge as you go. And as you do that, your vibration naturally becomes lighter. It naturally elevates through that sort of that artificial sort of almost like a spiritual 5-hour energy kind of thing, right? Allowing yourself to just sort of dance in the rain. I'm feeling upset today. I'm feeling a little wounded. I'm feeling a little bruised. That's okay. I'm going to accept myself how I am right now. And I know in just doing that naturally, just like something that's healing, right? It might take a couple hours, might take a couple days, might take a week or a weekend, but like I'm going to get there because intuitively and through the remembrance of my past experiences, I know that I always heal. I know that I always get through it. And I know that after the rain, sooner or later, everything dries up and the sun comes out again. And in doing that, the thunder comes to meet you. The thunder comes to meet you. So it's almost like as this rain ends, it's almost like a new storm begins. But because these almost look like balloons to me, it's almost a sense of getting through that harder chunk, right? Naturally, organically, not shaming yourself for feeling anything difficult or negative. And that acceptance, you get a new thunder, a new storm comes in, but it's positive. It's like balloons dropping from the sky. It's like the blessings in the abundance, they come down to rain on you. That kind of energy. It is really nice. It is really, really nice, Capricorn. It's a lot about being like very respectful and loving of yourself in all of the phases that you go through as people, right? We can't always be like super namaste. Some days you're just going through it and that's okay. And you have to honor yourself in those moments as well. Aquarius. All right, that seems to want to come out. Donna Lewis, you are so cute with your little emojis. I love you. These 2 cards are gonna want to come out. Oh, it's 3 cards. Oh, it's a lot of cards. Okay. Okay, Aquarius. Let's see. So the first card that you have out is card number 55. 55 is a master number. Taming the wind. And the first thing I heard was temperance. Temperance. I'm almost getting the idea of when there's this huge storm or this big like rush of wind coming to hit you, almost forming by tapping into your temperance energy, right? You almost create kind of a tunnel around you where you can block out the excess of the energy, the excess of the chaos, the excess of the wind and the storm, and really kind of focus it, tunnel it into what you can actually handle, what is not going to overstimulate you, not taking on too much of what is not your energy, too much of what is not your problem as well, too much of what you cannot control. Because there's a lot going on around this woman, but she's only truly like holding on. The things that are clinging to her are things that she can handle, things that she can deal with, things that she can make her way through as well. And almost like turning a blind eye to the rest of the chaos in the world and just almost dealing with the internal chaos a little bit. And then you have out this water card, which is beautiful, right up against this beloved fire and water, right? So it's about, again, kind of tempering our emotions, remembering, again, being accepting, loving yourself, that you are loved. God loves you. He wants to keep you whole and complete and not have holes in your emotional body. It's almost a sense of by creating that sort of center, that temperance, that balance around yourself, and you can block out all the excess, you have the ability to not have the rest of the chaos in the world come and poke holes to kind of burst your bubble as you're already healing and going through something. Because then you have out nourishment and then go stance. I love you too, Donna. You have nourishment and then you have the go stance, right? Learning how to stop and take a break and say, you know what, this is too much for me and I can't handle that, and that's not my problem and that's not my business, and that's like way above my pay grade. I gotta focus on my own stuff. I gotta make sure that I have my shit together. I gotta make sure that I'm emotionally solid as I possibly can be. I need to make sure that I'm loving myself, I'm honoring myself, right? That I'm feeding myself, I'm resting when I need to, I'm working when I need to, I'm not overstimulating myself or letting other people put too much on me. And in that, your spirit gets to dance a little bit more. It's almost the sense that it's a little bit of like almost like a fox energy, like a think on your feet, a little bit like now you see me, now you don't. Like, okay, I can help in here. Okay, now I'm back into my own lane. Okay, sure, I can help you a little bit over here. Okay, no, now I'm back in my own lane a little bit. Being able to kind of flow in and out in your natural state, knowing when you no longer are, when a situation is more of a hindrance to you than you are a help to it. Aquarius, right now today, there's a situation and you're like, I could help, because Aquarians are such humanitarians, right? We're always like lifesavers and firefighters, and like Aquarians have like that hero complex, which is a really sweet quality. But being able to assess today, like this situation is going to take from me more than I'm able to give to it. So I'm gonna pull back, I'm gonna nourish myself, I'm gonna make sure my emotional body is as whole and as cleansed and rejuvenated as it needs to be, because that's a part of self-love. And in doing that, I end up tempering myself. I can balance myself. So that's really good. It's really, really beautiful. Pisces. Pisces. I got the medicine wheel out. Let's see what else comes out for you. Aw, good morning, Kate. Thank you for being here. Kate Adams. It's a great name. It's very like all-American name. I like that. This wants to come out. Okay. All right. Yeah, I could see that. Should we have like full-on conversations over here? All right, Pisces, my little piscus. So first out, we have the medicine wheel. So there is something about, again, like resting, your health, making sure that you're not overwhelming yourself, making sure that again, it's that nourishment energy a little bit, making sure that you're eating something that really kind of soothes your body. Sometimes like soothing your body isn't also just like fruits and vegetables. Sometimes it really is like comfort food too. So like if you've been really strict with your diet lately, like maybe you need a cheat day. Like if you've been having a lot of cheat days, like maybe you need a vegetable. Like, but it really is this sense of like making sure you're taking care of yourself. But like when you're tired and you're starting to burn out today, Pisces, just take a break. Just take a break. Even if it's just for like an hour, or if it's a couple hours, or if you want to go all day doing something and you only make it 2 or 3 hours, that's okay. Like just people will understand. And if they can't understand that today, then they got to take that to the good Lord. Like do not overwork yourself today. Do not do that. Make sure you're doing everything in balance, and also going at like an even steady pace today. That's really important. That's coming through. Also, with all the animals on this card, it's also about pulling in different aspects of yourself too. It feels very integrative between like your light and dark parts, right? It's a little bit of that, like don't shame yourself if you get tired today, or if you fall in like a little pit today, like just don't sit in it too long, but like pull in. Remember, like meet an opportunity if it comes in today with this cheetah. Absolutely. Like if you need to have a little cleansing and death and rebirth process today, midday, that's cool. Do that. Don't judge yourself from that, right? We're in the process as a beehive where we're looking at ourselves with curiosity and not judgment, right? If you need to say something today, say it. Or if you're in a mood where you don't want to say anything to anyone, that's okay too, Pisces. That's absolutely okay. A hummingbird, and they have all these animals, the hummingbird is the smallest, right? And it's that sense that hummingbirds, they flap their wings like 100 times a minute, right? They're big pollinators. They work with the bees. Yes, very good. But it's also the sense that sometimes by going slower, by moving at a slower pace, you can get a greater potency of like creative inspiration. It's really quality over quantity for you today, Pisces, because you have it followed up by flow, right? By not forcing yourself to be like a workhorse, because Pisces innately have this thing where everybody thinks of Pisces is so daydreamy and so loosey-goosey, that Pisces often get labeled as sort of like luscious and lazy. And so to overcompensate for that, you run yourselves ragged. Well, if today you're able to kind of go through the motions at your own pace, stop if you gotta stop, speak if you wanna speak, don't if you don't want to today, right? That the quality of what you were able to produce will be so much better than the quantity of the conveyor belt system you wanna put yourself on today. And that will not only help a flow in your emotional body a lot better, right? You're a Pisces, you're not a Capricorn. It will help the flow of your emotional body, but also help your natural flow of production. Meeting needs as they come up, not beforehand. Because then you also do have out like the rattle. And the rattle for me, like I'm seeing like baby rattle, right? Like one in the sense that you'll enjoy it more, you'll get to play a little bit more. But I'm also seeing like rattle almost in the sense of one of those buttons that you press at the hospital when you need your nurse, right? It's an alerting kind of energy, like being able to alert people today, like, no, I can't do that, that's too much. No, I'm tired, I don't have the energy for that. No, I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to reschedule, right? Because then you have beginnings and you have the moon card next, realizing that there are new beginnings, there are new opportunities, like tomorrow is always another day. We obviously don't want to miss out on good stuff, but at the same time, you have to make sure that you are in the right place, because even if the right opportunity meets you and you feel scattered, your energy feels too scattered, you have to honor all of your different cycles. And you may go through all of them in one day. We are in Scorpio season and you are a water sign, right? But I almost see like these moons like coming in and out, coming in and out, coming in and out of this beginnings thing right here, which is really interesting to me, right? So it's really about like honoring your seasons and your cycles, even ones within a single day for yourself. It's big about boundaries today. Carrie Luckduck, hi. Lisa, hi, good morning. Yeah, today is like the day of healthy boundaries. Aquarius. Or not Aquarius. Why did I say that? You already won. Aries. Aquarius is trying to sneak back in. Aquarius, you can't have two. No, I'm only going to take that one card for Aries. It feels very poignant for me. This is card number 36. That sticks out to me a lot. My birthday is 3/6. SB. Oh, from Japan. That's so cool. I'm pretty sure you can scroll back, SB, even on a live stream. I'm pretty sure you could just take the cursor and move it back a little bit. Because we did Aquarius maybe 6 minutes ago. Sunseed Light. Hi, my love. So we have the card Patience, Aries. Now, the first thing that sticks out to me is this card, because the Queen of the Moon Oracle deck, it talks about, it's a deck based off of lunar cycles. And this is a green corn moon card, green corn moon. So green, that talks about your heart chakra, right? Your ability to love, to receive love, to be open, to be vulnerable. It's part of that flow process. And then corn. Corn is a symbol of fertility, right? And moon, the moon represents uncertainties, things that we don't know. So today, Aries, what it's really saying to me with this patience is to be patient, but part of being patient also means releasing control of timing, of expectations, of the way that things are going to come in, when they're going to come in, how they're going to come in particular about things that you've really been putting a lot of love, time, energy into bringing in for yourself. With this corn being like a fertility totem, right? It could be a business, it could be a relationship, it could be a lot of different things, but allowing that free energy to just kind of come through. Like, if it's for me, it won't pass me by. If it's meant to be, it'll come in. I'm just gonna be patient, and I'm just gonna focus on these other things, and I'm just gonna lean with it. Hi, Kelly. I'm gonna lean with it, rock with it, right? If I gotta flip it, if I gotta reverse it, that's totally cool. No, with this moon, like maybe I don't necessarily know when it's coming in, right? This is like an incoming sort of energy. Again, with this balloon, there's a lot about balloons coming in for me this week. I'm getting a lot of open like channelings, downloads about balloons. I don't know why, maybe because it's Scorpio season, you guys like balloons for your birthday. I'm getting a lot about balloons, hot air balloons, birthday balloons, bursting balloons. Like, there's a lot about going on about balloons, but Aries, that, you know, there's also a sense of sort of actively waiting, if that makes any sense. Sometimes we're kind of waiting for ships to come in. We're waiting for things to manifest for ourselves. But with this balloon, it's also talking about like kind of joyfully waiting, like doing something that you enjoy while you're sort of like in a very kind of productive, proactive way while you're waiting for these other things to come in, just so you don't drive yourself crazy, like stir crazy, and to do so with an open heart. Like, don't let the wait, don't let the uncertainty, right, of knowing whether or not things that you've been putting time, effort, love into, if they're going to become fertile, if they're going to come in, if they're going to be abundant, right? Releasing that control. That way you're sitting in more of like a happy, hopeful, like a positive expectant. Like, I expect that everything will turn out for the best for me, no matter how it shakes out, right? If I put time, love, and energy into this, I happily and hopefully expect that it will work out for me. And if something changes, well, then something changes and we'll adapt then. But there is something in that to you. 3-6, that breaks down to a 9, which is, again, it's a very independent energy. And it's also a number of completion as well. Meaning like overcoming that aspect of yourself as the emperor, right? To want to control the way things come in, when they come in, how they come in. Because we can't trust God enough that like he is working in our highest and best good. And maybe it's because we as people oftentimes do not do things in our highest and best good. We tend to get impatient. We tend to self-sabotage. We tend to do all of these different things sometimes. But God doesn't do that to us. We do that to ourselves. So really completing, overcoming that aspect of yourself. Kelly Rose is in the house. Idly, my baby. Everybody say good morning to Idly. To this day, I think Idly had one of the best, most positive personal readings I've ever done. She is such a pleasure and a joy. You are all pleasures and joys. I'm very grateful for all of you. Let's see. Taurus. Baby bull bees. You want this one? Okay, Taurus, let's take it. Okay. Master number, cool. Very cool. Okay, I'll just take this one too. So I want for these. So, Taurus, you have card number 33, a master number. See all this green here? This card's blossoming. All of this beautiful green that is going on here. And then this beautiful violin, how it's like this, I just heard symposium. Okay. Like I'm seeing the word symphony, but I'm also hearing symposium, which I believe is different. I believe those are different things. Okay, I want to look it up. Weird, but all right. Symposium. A collection of essays or papers on a particular subject by a number of contributors. Or a drinking party, especially held in ancient Greece after a banquet. That's what I thought. A collection of essays or papers on a particular subject by a number of contributors. But symphony talks about melody, it talks about flow, it talks about music and alchemy and magic, you know, and it's, this card says blossoming, flower moon, and it's like this whole skirt, the whole like bottom of the skirt, it's all flowers as it goes up. It's almost the sense of Taurus, reminding yourself today, if you come against anything difficult, challenging, any kind of adversity whatsoever, it's almost as though each one of these little flowers represents a time that you overcame something, overcame a little bit of self-doubt, overcame a little bit of self-consciousness, overcame an obstacle, overcame a no and turned it into a yes, right? And remembering how that has built you up so high, built you up and helped to define you, how resilient, how strong, how despite any adversities, how high that mountain seems for you time and time and time again in the past, that not only have you survived that, but you thrived in that, like a lily growing through mud, right? That you blossom, that you bloom, right? The collection of all of these life experiences has made you bigger, better, stronger, more resilient, more beautiful, right? And in that, in almost your way to express that or display that, right? Because a violin is something normally, you can play it for yourself, but it's also, music carries, right? Then I have neighbors, I don't know what's coming through, but I have neighbors over here, and on the weekends, they have like live acoustic bands go and play in their yard, and I can't see them, but even if I'm like sitting on the couch and I'm like watching a movie and whatever, I can still hear the music coming in. That it's like, even if people can't see it, maybe they can't see the collection of the different experiences that you've had that have required you to blossom in so many ways, overcome so many different aspects of yourself too, to grow as an individual, that it's something that the melody of that, the flow of that, just the pure like open heart vulnerability of like, I'm gonna make it one way or another. It's almost like, what is that, Mary Tyler Moore? It's like, I'm gonna make it after all, and she throws her hat in the air. It's like, that's what they're giving me right now. It's really cute, actually, that it can be felt, it can be heard in distances, even if people can't see it, even if it's not in front of their eyes. It's like that butterfly effect, right? It's like that domino effect, that the way you treat someone, it makes them feel a little bit better, and then they go and treat someone better, and then they go and treat someone better, and they go and treat someone better, right? It's that kind of energy today, but doing it like from a really open and like gracious and flowing heart state. Also in the sense of really like looking back on your past and your experiences from a new perspective. Like, we can rewrite history a little bit for ourselves when we take on that new perspective. I know my lights are going crazy today. They are, they've been doing this for a couple days. I guess, I don't know if it's me, like if I think I'm like integrating new energies again. I think I am integrating new energies again. You can always tell when like my energy like goes like a little bit like lower, like a little bit calmer. Not like negative, but just like almost like more rooted, like a little bit calmer. The lights go crazy and I get calmer. That's how you can usually tell that I'm like, something's happening in my body. Like that little kid in Bridesmaids, and he eats all the birth control pills. Kristen Wiig is like, I don't know what's gonna happen in your body, but something's gonna happen in your body. That's me. That's usually me every time I'm integrating new energies. Good morning, Amy. But I always say, I feel like every single month I go through, probably with the new and the full moons, I go through like a full death and rebirth process, which there is a reason for that, I believe. I believe connected to probably one of my past lives, which I may go into further detail about at one point, but that point is not today. That point is not today. But yeah, I've said it before, since I had my like awakening, like a year and a half ago, I'd say like a year and a half ago, my ascensions that I go through are unusually accelerated. I feel like, I mean, I don't know everyone's like ascension rates or, you know, but I feel like mine are unusually accelerated. So, bye, Kate. Have a gorgeous day. Blessings to you, my love. You got patience. Gemini. I love how that flows. I love how that flows. Ellsworth, hi, my love. So you got out corn. Corn's coming through today a lot too. Corn is a vegetable, but corn is actually more of a starch. So there is something, I think, with the Scorpio energy from the sun coming in. there's like all of this water, there's all of this emotion, there's this retrograde stuff coming up for everyone, right? So I don't know if any of you guys have been like called to eat like a, hi, good morning, Travis, good morning. I don't know if you guys have been called to like eat a lot more potatoes, like mashed potatoes, French fries, hash browns, sweet potatoes, root vegetables, carrots, like all of that stuff. But I think with all of this watery stuff going on, God's really trying to get us to like ground ourselves in it a little bit. But we do have corn, Gemini. So this is, again, this is growth. This is fertility. Like corn is like a really, really beautiful omen, but it is also like it's very natural. It's very like indigenous. It's something that is just like kind of naturally grown, at least where I am, for forever and ever. And it's something that really sustains people for a long period of time. And the cool thing about corn is like it comes in a lot of different colors, right? Like fertility and abundance comes in a lot of different shades that we might not always be aware of. And like there's different kinds of corn. There's different kinds of fertility. There's different kinds of abundance. Some of it's sweet. Some of it's a little bit more bitter. Like it's really interesting because then you also have this water card coming in, which is kind of gorgeous, which is again, it's like really kind of taking all this water energy that we're in, really trying to root it, especially for you right now. Gemini, figuring out like, how can I work through my emotional body in a safe and sacred space that still leaves me whole in a way that almost like I can put it into what I'm already working into, right? It could be just taking on a new perspective in something that you're doing, whatever that may be for yourself, but taking in that new perspective and allowing it to nurture, to water, to moisturize. That's a funny word, but to moisturize any soil that you have that is feeling a little bit dry right now, to really kind of aid in this growth. And I've never really noticed the crows in this card, that like just also being very confident in the fact that your natural rate of growth and abundance and fertility, right, in whatever way that shakes out for you, will naturally push out any resistance, any challenge, any obstacle that you may feel like you're facing, right? And then followed up by the patience card, which Aries got too, right? Because when we plant seeds, it's not like you put it in the ground and then automatically it's like you have full harvest. Things take time, right? You plant the seeds, you water them, you let the sun come in. Yes, Carrie Lockjack, you're right. You're absolutely right. That as you do that, then there is a level of patience. But again, it's a hopeful, happy, expectant patience, right? Like, I just trust. It's very Seven of Pentacles. I just trust if I plant these seeds and I water them and I let God come in with his mighty power, the power of the sun, that they will grow and I will be here waiting, like when it's time to harvest. When it's time to harvest, Gemini. It's very interesting. It's also about tempering any trigger moments for yourself too, because you see how there are like these little bands of red kind of coming in through the bottom here. Also, being honest with yourself emotionally as well. Being honest with yourself emotionally as well. It almost looks like the corn is growing right over here. Do you see that? That's very interesting, Gemini. Gemini might need like an SOS reading. I'm going to do the Capricorn bonus today, but Gemini, you might need like an SOS reading or something. Interesting. But also tempering any impatience, fears, anxieties, any of that stuff, right? Because when that stuff comes in, it's almost like it kind of chokes out the roots of these plants and then they can't grow, right? It's like when you put a plant in a pot that's too small. It's that kind of energy. So we want to be gentle with ourselves today, Gemini. Bye, Cooking Revolution. Have a good day. Have a good day. Cancer. Okay, Cancer, give me a second. You got a lot going on here. Hold please. Hold please for production. Live band. Yeah, it is pretty cool. I just watched your Leo reading and 3 minutes in, laughed and ran. Oh, you're so sweet. Oh, Sheena, you're so sweet. The Leo reading was a really good reading. That was a really good reading. The Virgo reading was really, really good too. Oh, you guys got great weekly reads. Huh, Cancer. Yeah, you're taking it easy today, Cancer. So you have the Arrow card and you have self-reflection out next. And the thing that is really interesting to me, it almost feels like it's like with the actual arrow, it feels a little bit like a shot to the heart, like a shot to the heart, Cancer. But at the same time, there is all of this beautiful, delicate, like light pink and like lavender coming up all around it. And then with this self-reflection, almost like holding your own hand, there could have been something recently, Cancer, that could have maybe it disappointed you or felt like a little shot to the heart, something like that. Because it doesn't necessarily feel like Cupid's bow, shot to the heart. It feels like something kind of like hit you in like a soft place. But I think that you decided to respond to yourself, to your own needs, kind of sit with it, hold your own hand a little bit, reflect on it, reflect on yourself, allow yourself to really digest your emotions and your experience in a really kind of a way that really honored you. I think that despite whatever shot or little blow that you felt, you're really bringing in like a lot of self-love, self-compassion. And I think that that's actually helping sort of soften the blow, right? Almost make this arrow kind of graze over the top as opposed to like stick inside of you. Because then you also have flow, lightning, and you have the heart of the sky, which is, again, in doing this self-reflection, it's allowing you to kind of move through your emotional body a little bit better and kind of get to like the heart, because again, it's like in the heart space, to the kind of heart of the issue of why something is bothering you, right? And in that, I feel like it's in a very like soft and quiet way, kind of reconnecting you spiritually back to God, back to the divine. Almost like this moon is little like whispering to you, like, it's okay, right? Like, I know you don't know maybe how, why, or why that happened, right? But just, sometimes it doesn't matter why things happen. It's about that they happen and what we learn about ourselves in that experience. And with the snow moon coming through, talking about purity, again, with a little bit of that blinding, because your eyes are actually closed in this card too, and you're kind of looking the other way here, letting the moon kind of speak to you a little bit, and your eyes are closed here too. It's almost realizing that it's like, it doesn't really matter why things happen sometimes. It's just like what we learn about ourselves in that process and how we can accept ourselves, love ourselves, and grow through that. And in that, it is very purifying to your spirit. Every time you get to know yourself a little bit better, it purifies that part of your past. That it's like almost like when you get a burn, and then if you took like some actual snow, right, like white clean slate, and kind of put it on it, and it kind of like puts out that burn a little bit, like that self-soothing thing, but not in terms of a band-aid. It is really, really nice. It kind of takes the sting out of the experience because you learned more about yourself. So it's like cleaning out that wound a little bit for you. So that way it's like it doesn't scar up, because now the arrow is coming through a little bit more like a needle, like a stitch, like kind of stitching it together. That's interesting. Hi, Priestess. Mimune, hi. Hi, everyone. It's really nice. It's really nice. It's very gentle. It's like very gentle with yourself. Leo. So Leo, immediately I'm hearing allowing yourself to get far enough away from a situation so that way you can actually like pull the lessons out from underneath it. Because you have the Rainmaker. So this is, again, for me, it always speaks of like dancing a little bit in the rain, right? Finding the piece of positivity in whatever situation is going on, even if there's something challenging going on for you right now. Even if you're going through something that's a little bit disappointing, like regardless of what it is, being able to be like, you know what, even if the situation is challenging, even if the situation is frustrating, even if there's something going on for me today that perhaps I'm not loving, that I know that in some portion of it, it is growing me. It is cleansing me. It is showing me more of myself. It is allowing me to connect with God a little bit better, my natural essence, my natural flow and movement and rhythm. There could be something for you today too with like maybe putting on like some music and like dancing a little bit, getting like twinkle toes, like light on your toes a little bit, not being like heavy-handed today, not having like a lead foot today, right? This whole theme for today is like boundaries and being gentle with yourself. Boundaries and being gentle with yourself. Because then you also have this wisdom card. And the interesting about this wisdom card, it's, you know, obviously there's a ladder. She's standing on top of books, like your experiences, different things you've been through, life lessons, soul lessons that you've learned, kind of reaching up, right, for more. But the thing that's interesting is that she's in this boat. She's in this boat here, right? And it's waxing gibbous 6. And like 6, I'm almost hearing like 6 of swords, right? It's like when you leave a chaotic situation in order to get to calmer waters. And I feel like that's kind of what it is a little bit, almost like dancing your way like out of the rain a little bit, being like, almost like as though maybe it's through movement or maybe it's just a mindset or the way you're thinking today, that in doing that, it's almost like when a dog comes in or like a pet comes in from the rain and they kind of shake off and then it's like all the droplets sort of fall off of them and they dry up a lot faster. Kind of doing that. And in that, you kind of get to be in a 6 of swords energy in which you get to move to calmer waters. But once you get to the calmer waters, then you get to have an elevated kind of giraffe spirit, higher perspective, and kind of be able to reach for the wisdom, for the guidance, for the lessons, for the clarity in that experience. But after you get enough distance between you and whatever it was, person, place, thing, a job, sort of like not, I don't know if you know the story about like Lot's wife, right? And God told her like, don't look back on the past, like whatever it is. And as soon as she did, she like became paralyzed. It's that sort of thing, almost knowing that it's almost like when you're up like at a very high elevation and it's like on a tightrope and they're like, don't look down because you'll freak yourself out and then you won't be able to move. You'll get scared and your energy will clamp up and then you'll fall over. It's a little bit like that. It's that kind of energy, kind of moving through whatever challenges you're going through today, Leo, knowing that some way, somehow they are working out for your highest and best good, even if it just means that you're learning something better for yourself, learning to expand your energy, expand your capacity for understanding. And in that you gain wisdom, but not trying to pull that out while you're still making your way out of that situation. Let yourself get out of that place, get enough distance, clear your mind a little bit, and then go back and approach whatever situation that you're dealing with. Your oracle told you to dance 2 days in a row. Well, then you should be dancing. I know you like to dance, Travis. I know you like to get down and boogie. You gotta go dance with your dog. You and the dog, you gotta like shimmy on down. Yeah, I see you gotta dance with your cat. Travis gotta dance with his dog. Get the animals involved. Whenever I'm like having a thought about something and I'm not sure if I'm like on the right track, somehow my family's cat always like pops up at that exact moment and I'm like, oh, we're on it. We're on it. The cat always comes through as like a confirmation of whatever I'm like intuitively picking up. And then if I'm feeling like a little soft and like I need a little extra love, then the family dog always like pops up and likes to just like sit by me, near me. Oh, your dog's so cute, Travis. Your dog is so cute. I forgot where you guys were walking the other day, but I saw your little thing on Instagram. You guys were like walking. I think it was like by water or something. And I was like, oh my God. Did you ever see that that video of that little Southern boy? And then they have like that poodle. And he like goes to his mom and he's like, can I pet that dog? She's like, no. He's like, can I pet that dog? She's like, no. Can I pet that dog? That's what I'm like every time I see a dog. I overslept and I was supposed to be working. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, we've all been real tired. I don't know if you guys have been tired. I've been exhausted. I've been falling asleep like real early, trying to get up at like my normal time, and I've just been like not wanting to get out of bed, like so tired. But when it's like time for me to get up, they like start with the lights, or I'll like start falling back to sleep and I'll hear like a bang on the wall and I'm like, okay, I'll get up, I'm sorry, I'm so tired. Virgo. Virgo. All right, I'm gonna take that too. I think Scorpio energy is like overwhelming us. That with like the retrogrades and stuff too. It's interesting. It's like the retrogrades are almost like pulling up everything from the past, and then the Scorpio energy is like pulling us into our emotions, and so it's like this inner conflicting energy in and out, and I think it's just kind of exhausting a lot of our energy, and we didn't really realize it was happening. Your cat picks crystals for the day. She's so cute. That's really cute. At my crystal shop, there's they have like a shop cat, and it always comes to find me, and she'll always like pick out crystals. I haven't bought crystals in a long time. Actually, I have a ton of crystals over here. I used to like wear crystals in my pockets and my bra all the time. I don't really do that so much anymore, but every once in a while, my angels will be like, pull out the rose quartz, pull out the strawberry quartz. I'm like, okay, like every once in a while. Venus is going back into Libra tonight, which will give us a break. Well, thank the good Lord in heaven. I'm happy we have an astrologist on shift today. Thank God. Thank God. Yeah. Oh. Okay, Virgo. Okay, Virgo. Interesting. That's really interesting. Huh. Virgo's been doing a lot of work. I can see that. So, Virgo, you have out the Witness card, followed by the Moon, and then the Child, first and foremost. So this doesn't feel like your energy. This feels like someone else is actually a witness to you. Someone else is witnessing you with this Moon go through a lot of different cycles. Someone is witnessing you kind of, it's like the ebbing and flowing, the purging of the full moon, the inception of the new moon, and all of the different hierarchical stages in between. And then with the Child card, it's almost as though, I don't know if it's like someone that's known you for a long time or somebody that perhaps is just getting to know a little bit of your backstory a little bit better. But it seems like somebody is kind of like somebody who's already in the thick of it, because this Witness card, she's already like in the thick of it, if you can tell, is kind of witnessing or being illuminated to all the cycles that you've had to been through. But it feels like literally like maybe they're learning about kind of what was your childhood was like a little bit more, or how difficult it was for you, how much like adversity that you felt like through that, and kind of how strong you've been able to be. Because it's interesting, because there's all these moons here, and then there are all these moons on your side, that it really is like, despite anything that you've been through, all of your challenges have actually grown you. That anything that seemed like an obstacle was actually something that like you were able, in like in a keto type fashion, to use as fuel. That the uncertainty, the moon was actually on your side. There's something in that. And then there's faith and discernment followed out next. So 3:10, 3:11, Ecclesiastes, he's made everything beautiful in its time. How gorgeous is that? Followed up by power and will. That's really intense, actually, Virgo. For a Tuesday, that's really intense. That somebody is really getting to be a witness right now to fully understand. It's almost like getting a wider landscape of like who you are, of how many of the challenges that you've been through, and how, despite whether you were a child that had to go through this, because it's like this child warrior, right? But it's like still a child that despite everything you've been through, it's made you a warrior. It's made you stronger. It's made you resilient. It's made you like a good fighter, but it also hasn't stolen like that childlike faith, that childlike spirit that you have, that kind of youthful, fresh energy. And a lot of it is because your intense faith and your discernment, that I'm going to walk by faith and not by sight, that I know that even if something looks like it's up against me, it's only going to be something that's going to make me better. And so I'm going to harness my own energy and I'm going to make proper and smart decisions, because you are very powerful. Because it's really interesting how you take this orb from the discernment, right? And then you hold it up right here to your will. So it really is interesting. Like, your faith is your power. It has been your power. It's put you in sort of an empress sort of mode, which is very interesting. I'm almost getting like, almost like some Queen Elizabeth stuff, a little bit like when in like the olden days, they used to take like a 14, 15-year-old girl and make her queen. Are we okay? We're live. All right. I was like, who is trying to call me on the live? How to teach my mom faithing in my divine rage. Been there, girl. Been there. For a Tuesday, yeah. Hi, Melissa, Rainbow Soul, good morning. And that, damn call. Yeah, that your faith really has been your power. It's put you in the Empress mode, even if you kind of had to grow up very quickly. Someone's realizing how quickly you had to grow up, but that it didn't steal your faith, because in your faith, it allows you to like live and be joyful like a child. And that your will and your discernment, it's almost like very stubbornly, I'm going to hold up my own light right to my face so you can't block me out. My situations can't block out my inner light just because that wants to be dark. It's like, this little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine. It's really cool. It's really cool. But the whole general idea is that someone else is getting to witness this. Like, you're just doing it, but someone else is getting to witness it, which is really how God likes to move, not only in our lives, but in other people's lives as well. Yeah, look, what just flew out. Assessing and then beauty. Someone else is kind of like, again, getting to assess, kind of look in a little bit closer to really like the beauty of your spirit, how resilient you are. Again, it's like a lily, that you've been able to grow and flourish like a lily through mud, through adversity. And in that also means that they can too, through their own discernment, through their own like will to be faithful, to have faith. Like, if it can happen for Virgo, it can happen for me too. Libra. Fascinating. Come here. No, I saw you. Yeah, I saw you. You're not going to run away from me. Not today. Not today. All right. 50 years old, I grew up and became me. Instead of allowing my mom's beliefs being mine, I can't co-sign her BS anymore. Yeah. Absolutely. You have to be your own person. There are so many things that we are, the word indoctrinated is coming to mind, but we're taught, right? They're learned behaviors. They're issues of nurture and not necessarily of our nature. Living in fear brings me down, literally. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It does all of us. Fear is, it's a suffocating energy. You know, the devil is a liar. Fear is suffocating energy. We all get nervous. But you know, it's to overcome that, you know, to rise above the adversity. You know, it's like a middle school motivational poster. If you can believe it, you can achieve it. You can achieve it. But you have to convince yourself of it. God already loves you. God already believes in us, right? God already believes that like we can do it, but we have to believe that we can do it too, that we can make it happen for ourselves. That's part of the co-creation energy. Fear can cancel faith, but the thing is that faith is more powerful than fear. All you need is faith like a mustard seed. That's all you need. You could have fear like the ocean, but if you have faith like a mustard seed, it will overcome anything. It really will. Libra. That's really cool, Libra. You got seeds. I got seeds. Yes, I do. So Libra, first of all, you have realization. Look at this. Key. And then you have the crow. And then you have out the mystical shaman. So it's almost a little bit like that little rant to germinate. Absolutely. Like the birds and the bees. A little bit of, like I was just saying, you're having this realization today, Libra, perhaps by yourself in like a moment of meditation, a moment by yourself, perhaps a moment of silence, that in fact, like with this crow is being representing your intuition, that in fact, like you are the mystical shaman, that it's like your spirit is something that has been around for a long time, that you are a piece of something, an extension of something that is so much bigger and greater than what your flesh can actually actualize down here in this like dense 3D environment, that like you are like a natural extension of something. You are a natural extension of creation, right? That like your spirit kind of takes on many forms, only one of which being just in the flesh. And then you have this ancient ones, and you have the tree of life coming out next. And then destiny and the time master. Destiny. Oh, that's funny. This card says beginnings, and I just said destiny. That's really interesting. That's really, really interesting that I just said that. That's really interesting. I'm getting like birthright. Birthright is coming in again. Tree of life. This is a beginning card, but I just said destiny. It's like almost, I don't know. It feels like, Libra, like you're getting a download today that you maybe have not, or maybe you got one already that you haven't quite, it hasn't percolated. It's like getting this idea in your head, almost like a piece of your blueprint, a piece of what you're supposed to do, a part of who like you're supposed to become, like what your purpose is, realizing that it's connected to so much bigger. Your potential has no limit, that there's something so much bigger for you, an aspect of yourself that you've been like keeping very small, that's been inhibiting your destiny, like not, again, like trying to put yourself in a little box, that you are in fact like very intuitive, you are a mystical shaman, that you are very, very powerful with this realization card kind of standing, like walking out of a night and walking into a day, right? Walking into the light with sort of this light, sort of, especially like following, it's like drifting around your crown chakra. It's like this incoming download, this piece of the puzzle that perhaps you got, and it's just sort of percolating. It's been percolating and it's just kind of dripping now into the pot, and you're kind of starting to get it, and it's giving you like a little bit of life, tree of life, ancient ones. Again, it's like one of those like, you've been here before, you've done this before. It's like a little past life remembrance, a little Akashic records, something in that. And then beginnings in the time master, right? It's like everything that has ended for you, everything that you've been through, it's only been preparing you. Time master. I'm getting like timelines, like something for you. It's gonna be individual for all the Libras, but something individual for you will be coming in for you today, where it came in and it's just gonna start dripping. The drip is starting for Libra. It could be parts of your instructions, parts of your guidance that are going to start coming in to help you figure out what steps to take next on your path to help fulfill your actual purpose. It's this sense, Libra, that like you're actually realizing that you have a real purpose. Like you have a job to do. You have a job to do for the collective. You have a job to do for God. Like you were put here for a reason, and you've just kind of been wandering around trying to figure out, bumping into walls, figure out what it is. But now you're realizing that it is something. You are something. You are someone. You've done this job before in different timelines, in different past lives, perhaps in different ways. But now you're getting, and that's part of the beginning in the tree of life. It's like this new way to walk out your purpose. And this is coming through like a lot of ancestral energy too. I'm getting like a lot of like ancestral abundance and blessings, like inheritance, some kind of like ancestral inheritance of like spiritual gifts, abilities for you. Interesting, Libra. I didn't think that was gonna go there for you. Can you explain the timeline thing sometime? I have to say, I don't really understand the concept. Yeah, absolutely. That makes total sense. You know, when I first started, like waking up and like getting into tarot and kind of exploring like different dimensional possibilities, I had no idea what anyone was ever saying. And I realized like we, as readers, as oracles, prophets, like all that kind of, we all talk, we use these words all the time and nobody knows, a lot of people don't know what we're talking about, right? Like I say retrograde, and people are like, what the hell is retrograde? Like, what does that mean? And we were like, you know, the collective consciousness. People are like, what is the collective consciousness? Like, I don't know what that means. We forget sometimes, we just kind of speak because we like live it, you know what I mean? Like and that's me too, like I forget all the time, like I just speak words out and I forget that like, some people are just like getting used to this, they're just like baby stepping into their process in the beginning, and meanwhile it's like there's not like a day off. It's not like I like clock in and out of like being an oracle or like being myself. Lots of crown work. Like I've seen that in you, Travis, but you are like a Rihanna song right now. You are shining like bright like a diamond. Like you are vibrating at a very, very high level right now. It's really beautiful to see. Your light working is like, it's like on point, right? It's the spam calls. No, the devil knows we're doing good. The devil knows we're doing good work here today. Scorpio. Of course you would have this card. You would. Okay, before I even pull any more cards for Scorpio, you got card number 40, Darkness. You see this little bunny? I literally just heard, hello darkness, my old friend. Like Donnie Darko. Like literally I pulled this card and I heard Donnie Darko. Scorpio, you're so funny to me. You're so funny to me. In my Vedic chart, my moon is in Scorpio in my Vedic chart. So like, I get it. Like, I get it. But I almost think it was like this little bunny. It's almost like I'm getting like lucky rabbit's foot, like something like that. It's something like that. And almost like a little bit of like divine, like a little coyote spirit, almost like a little divine trickster sort of energy. It's almost like this sense that like, I'm hearing like untouchable. Like you feel in a sense that there's a part of you that's like untouchable, perhaps because Scorpios like live in a dark night of the soul sort of energy, right? And it's like you've been through so much, you've seen so much, that it's almost like I'm untouchable, like nothing can hurt me. Like I've already had things stripped away from me so many times. It's like I'm not afraid of failure. I'm not afraid of heartbreak. I'm not afraid of the dark. And now I'm seeing that Are You Afraid of the Dark books. They're showing me the cover of that in my head. They're like, I'm not afraid of the dark. So like, I'm just gonna like hop, hop, hop. And now I'm getting, what is it, Big Daddy? The kangaroo song. Hop, hop, hop. Weird. A little bit like that. Weird. I told you, I'm integrating new energies. But again, it's like, almost like you guys feel like a little untouchable. You're like, I'm just lucky. Like, I'm just favored. Like, I've already had so many things happen to me. Like, I'm not afraid of the dark. Like, so I'm just gonna hop, hop, hop. And it's like this moon is almost trying to be like blacked out like a blue moon. Long night moon. Almost like a blue moon, which I believe happens at the end of the month. But despite that, there's still like just enough light. And you see how it's refracting like onto this tree right here a little bit too? It's almost like you can get by, Scorpio, right now on just like a little bit of light. You just need a little bit of light to kind of like show you a little bit of where you're going, but you're not afraid of the dark. So it's like you don't need full illumination. You don't need full clarity. It's a sense of like you almost like getting your hands dirty a little bit and like figuring out as you go. Like it's almost like you're, I'm getting like Metamorphosis, which I also believe was like a show in like the late 90s, early 2000s. It's almost like it was like a Transformer kind of show, like Metamorphics or Metamorphosis, something like that. And the kids, like the teenagers, would like morph into like different animals and stuff like that. It's almost like the sense of like, you're not afraid of the dark. You can just like let people kind of underestimate you a little bit, like hop, hop, hop with just a little bit of light, just a little bit of encouragement, just a little bit of clarity and illumination. Hop, hop, hop down this path. And if you meet like any big bad wolves, like along the way, all of a sudden you're gonna like metamorphosize into like that big ass scary bunny from Donnie Darko. It's a little bit like that. And I keep wanting to go like this with my hands. Flip it and reverse it. I'm getting like wolf in sheep's clothing, wolves in sheep clothing. I'm almost getting like this. You're almost hoping people will underestimate you because you like to prove people wrong right now. And then you like to like prove people wrong right now. It's like, oh, you think you're the big bad wolf? I'm a wolf in sheep's clothing too. So like, let's play. Let's play. I dare you to try me. I'm hearing. It's like, I dare you to try me. Powerful message. Unless it isn't. English language is literally speaking spells. English not English at all. First moon in 19 years. It is a Taurus moon. I think even though it's on Halloween, the Taurus moon is going to be really good for us as a whole. It's going to be really grounding and really good for us. But Scorpio, then you have this boundaries card out next. Which is really beautiful because I think it is about like your energetic boundaries. That's part of that, like, you can't take anything from me. You can't scare me. I might look cute and unassuming over here, but like, you have no idea that what I've been through, that like, I've earned my stripes. Like, I have a set of teeth on me too. And again, it's like just kind of looking up at like this little tiny bit of light, very like naked and very like unashamed. It's like being very unashamed of it as well. It's like also like eye on the prize. Like, I'm going to get where I'm going. I don't care what adversity I face. Like, I'm going to get where I'm going. That's interesting. Though, I guarantee you this, the weeklies coming up, the next round of weeklies, if this is how the daily energies are coming through with this new energy that I'm integrating, hold on to your panties. Buckle your seatbelts. I have a feeling they're going to be a little bit like, some of you have been around a lot longer. Some of you are newer. But I had taken a small like sabbatical for a period of time, and then I came back and I did those 1-card reads when I first got the Mystical Shaman Oracle deck. I have a feeling that the next round of weeklies is going to be like a little bit like that. I have a feeling. And I'm hearing that song, I got a feeling. Jesus, take the wheel. That's right. Moon and Scorpio, deep and shit. Yeah, idly. In Western, my moon is in Sagittarius, which is up next. And then in Vedic, my moon is in Scorpio. I don't know what it is in the houses. I would have to check. Into Sag moon. That's right, Kelly. Okay. Like an egg timer? Oh, interesting. The numerology on that's interesting. Ooh, Libra Jupiter is nice. Libra Jupiter instantly sounds like nice placement to me. My Jupiter is in Leo. I have a lot of Leo placements, actually. Travis always likes to remind me of that. He's like, that first house in Leo. I'm like, I know. Sagittarius, you got a lot of cards too. Leo, Jupiter. Leo and Jupiter is actually a very auspicious sign for career, which is nice. Thank you. Thank you, Jesus, for that. Okay, one, Sagittarius is not shying away from their spiritual walk right now. However, they are taking on a new perspective about it. First thing, just numerology speaking, you got 554. Growth is card number 5. And then you have out the Sweat Lodge, which is card number 54. Right? So the one I love about this growth card, because it looks like it's like a big egg or it's a big earth, right? But I always notice that there's this time piece. There's this time piece. And specifically, that's how you want me to say it. Time piece. Piece of time, peace of mind. Okay. Holding it in your hand, right? And then there's the Sweat Lodge energy right here. Almost the idea that Sagittarius, when most people would shy away from, I don't know if it's shadow work, I don't know if it's dark night of the soul or challenging situations or whatever it is, it's like you are intentionally going into like the thick of it, going into the heart of it. See this eye too? It almost looks like a tiger's eye. Something about tiger's eye. Tiger is very protected. So it could be the idea that you're not shying away from challenging situations. It doesn't feel like conflict with other people. It feels like internal conflict, like internal tower moments. You're not shying away from them, but it does feel like you're having them privately. Like you're not really talking about them with other people a lot today, but you're not shying away from like sweating it out. It's that purification process, because I think you know that it's like a moment, it's again like hungry dog, like a dog with a bone. Like there's something you want to know, Sagittarius. Like I don't know if it's about like your relationship with God or like your purpose or like something to do with your past life or part of your gifts or part of your ability, but it's like dog with a bone. I literally see a dog that like will not give it up. Like there's something that you want to know. I don't know if it's about how the universe works, how God created the world, about how the spiritual hierarchy actually works and where you fit in on it. Because there is also this big ass hawk coming through with these messages, which is like you're almost calling out to God for it and they're answering you right back. But they're like, the answer's in the dome. Like the answer is in the dome. Something about a dome, like Thunderdome sort of energy. It's like the only way out is through. Like if you want to know, you got to go into the heart of it, right? It's a little bit of that like going into the lion's den sort of thing. And you know it's like a matter of time. It's going to take like a certain amount of time for you to get through, but you're not shying away from it because it's like you really do want to grow. And with your head turned, it's almost like, I don't even care how long it takes. Like, I don't even care what it costs. I'm hearing like whatever it takes, Imagine Dragons. Like, I don't care how hot it gets. I don't care how hot it gets. Then you have balance, and then you have the journey out next, which is really interesting. It's almost like one with his arms crossed like this. Again, it's like keeping it close to the chest, that you might just be going through like the daily motions today, but people actually don't know like what's going on in your head. Again, it's just like doming energy. It's like, it's really interesting. But also with this balance card as well, with 19, 1, you know, that would, oh, wait a second. Hold on. This is really crazy, Sagittarius. Normally you don't get these. I don't know what you're doing. I don't know if this is like, this has to be for like a specific Sagittarius. I don't know if this is like a timeline switch or like some kind of energy manipulation or learning how to work with energies better. Learning how to work with energies better. And the smoke coming off this journey right now, it looks like a little wolf. Something about a pact, making a pact. It's like a silent agreement between you and creation about, like, if I go into this sweat lodge, I'm going to get to grow this much, and then I'm going to get to fulfill this part of my journey, part of my process. It's like kind of like training day, which I believe was a Taurus reading that I did when I did the weeklies, that I did the 1-card mystical shaman readings. But there might be something like part of your flesh, something in your spirit that has to literally get like fought out, sweat out, purified. That's part of the balancing. Like you cannot continue on with your journey with this like in the mix from this timeline. In order to get into the next timeline, it has to be like sweat out of your spirit. Something in that. It's part of that like baptism by fire sort of energy. But then once you do it, the drum hits. And it's almost like this hawk. See what I was saying? Like this hawk, like God is like answering you and the hawk's flying over, and then the hawk almost becomes like an angel or a guide or like part of your higher self. And it beats this drum to like let you know it's time to go, and you get to kind of come out of this sweat lodge. Because it literally looks like when you go almost like into a sauna, right? And you come out and you just have like, they always give you those white towels 2 white towels, like one for your body and then like one for the top of your head for your hair. And then you get to come out of the sweat lodge like purified, like cooled off, like this is snow, right? Yeah, snow moon, cooled off, refreshed, purified. And then that last card is the Holy Mountain, which is like getting to sit on top of the rock and like, okay, Sagittarius. And at peace, at peace. I mean, this could be as easy as just doing like intense shadow work on yourself, but it feels bigger than that. It feels really bigger than that. It is this sense that there's almost like a call to action collectively that I'm feeling right now. Like perhaps those that are asleep are being woken up, some gently, like some that are willing to kind of like get out of bed are being woken up a little bit gently. Those that are not willing to get out of bed are being shooken awake. And the ones that are already awake are being called into like some kind of training atmosphere. Like, we got to get you trained up because we got to get you out there. And the ones that are already kind of trained and are already out there are being called to the front to start like leading the pack up. That's how it feels like. It's a little bit like a domino effect. Like anyone who's asleep is either being shaken awake violently or if they're going with it and they're like, okay, I'll get up. Then they're kind of being like corralled in a little bit gently. But anyone who's asleep, they're getting woken the fuck up. Either good cop or bad cop style, they're getting woken up. If you're already awake and you're just kind of baby stepping into it right now, you're getting your training that you need. And if you're already awake and you've already been doing your training, you're getting called up to the front row. Yeah, that's what's happening right now. It feels like I could be wrong, but that's what I'm pulling in right now at the bottom of the deck. Their trees are being shaken. Good morning, Trisha. Hello. Tomorrow's the last day of your cleanse. Cool. That's very cool. Cleanse the spells. I don't stress about spells, Melissa. Spells don't work. They don't work. It's like, they just don't work. Like, they just don't. They just don't. Here comes the bees. What was that movie? Azealia and the Bee? Isn't it like a spelling bee? There's like a spelling bee movie. One of my training wheels needs to be right there. It's all right. We'll oil it up. We'll get it, Amy. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. But right, we started Capricorn? Yeah, so those are done. It's very intense. I didn't think they were gonna be like that this morning. But that's all right. Threw me for a loop. That's what I get for using. That's what I get for using that combination of decks. All things as they are meant to be, though. So yes, thank you, baby bees, for being here with me for the collective coffee this morning. I love you. I appreciate you. If anyone is kind enough to do the time stamping, I think Sheila's done it the past few videos. Thank you, Sheila. We would very much appreciate you. All the weeklies are out. Capricorn, I'm going to do your bonus read probably now because you guys had really good attendance this week. And then, I don't know, we'll see. We'll see what's going on. But thank everybody. Thank you guys for being here with me today. I love you all very, very much. Remember, today's general energy is boundaries, being gentle with yourself. Boundaries, being gentle with yourself. There's a lot of shit moving in the sky. Don't overwhelm yourself. If you feel overstimulated, pull it back a little bit, all right? All right, I will see you very soon. I love you very, very much. Goodbye.